Natural disasters are some things that we are never ready for unless the indication is quite clear. For instance, we may be ready for floods, but we might never be ready for an earthquake. Talking about earthquakes, what do you think is the greatest challenge that follows this disaster? Hello and welcome to our channel. Today's video is all about how you can rescue earthquake survivors with the help of rats. So, if you're ready, let's get started. Well, the consequences of earthquakes are disastrous for anyone trapped inside. Natural disasters like earthquakes and hurricanes can completely destroy towns, making it difficult for search and rescue teams to locate survivors. But can you believe that rats can help you find the survivors you otherwise would never have found? Yes, they might turn out to be heroes who saved the day. Well, it was made possible when rodents were outfitted with tiny, cutting-edge backpacks as part of the project. This very project was developed by the Belgian non-profit APOPO to assist first responders in their search for survivors under the rubble. You might be thinking why they decided to experiment with rats only. Well, rats are frequently very curious and enjoy exploring, and these characteristics were all that this research required. Rats are ideal for finding things in confined spaces because of their small size, keen sense of smell, and adventurous nature. The rats are currently being taught to look for survivors in disaster relief simulations, where they first find and target a person in a room that is empty, press a switch on their vest to activate a beeper, and then make their way back to base. And to keep them motivated, they are rewarded every time. APOPO is working with Eindhoven University of Technology to create a backpack that is outfitted with a video camera, two-way microphone, and location transmitter to aid first responders in speaking with survivors while the rodents are still in the early stages of training. And this invention did not come overnight. APOPO has been training dogs and rats for more than 10 years in the scent detection of tuberculosis and landmines. And they used African giant poached rats only as they live in capacity of up to 8 years as opposed to the common brown rats 4 years. Many questions arise here regarding what it took to send rats into an actual disaster zone. Well, APOPO has been trying to start the search and rescue project for years, but lacked funding and a search and rescue partner to support it. The project only formally launched in April of 2021 when Kian joined the team. However, the team started investigating the idea when the volunteer search and rescue group, GIA, approved APOPO in 2017 about the possibility of using rats in its missions. Another thing that APOPO lacked was the technology that allowed first responders to communicate with victims via the rats was a crucial part of the search and rescue operation. And this was made possible when APOPO involved Sander Verdijssen, who is an electrical engineer. This guy was given the task of developing the first version of the rat backpack, which will aid rescuers in understanding what is happening inside disaster zones. Now, let's see how it works. The prototype was a 3D printed plastic container with a video camera that transmitted live video to a receiver module on a laptop, while also recording high-definition copy on an SD card. Also, you'll notice there's a vest here made of neoprene, the same material as scuba suits, is attached to the rats. Verdijssen traveled to Tanzania to test his experiment there and noticed that rats initially didn't really know how to deal with it, but they quickly adjusted to the situation. And by the time it was all over, they were just running around with a backpack on without any problem. It hasn't been simple though, to scale down technology and adapt it for disaster areas. Obviously, the team faced so many challenges along the way. Some of them were made possible to achieve by Verdijssen, as according to him, GPS can't get through the thick building debris and rubble. So he puts forward the idea of using an inertial measurement unit, which is a location tracker embedded in the heels of firefighters' boots as an alternative. On the other hand, he's attempting to reduce the size of the next version while adding more technology, like a two-way microphone. The prototype was twice as heavy as intended, weighing in at about 140 grams or 4.9 ounces, but Verdijssen claims that bulkiness was more of a problem. Measuring 10 centimeters long or 3.9 inches and 4 centimeters deep, 1.6 inches. His logic had a point. He believed that rats were walking up against something that normally they could go under, and suddenly they can't anymore. Therefore, he integrated everything onto a single printed circuit board, which will free up more space in order to make it as small as possible without sacrificing any functionality. Extensive rat training is going on in the experimental field in Tanzania, even with newborns as well. However, for the time being, Kian and the Tanzanian team are concentrated on getting the rats through the first stage of training and hopefully into the field one day. And that's all for today, folks. Thank you for staying with us. If you enjoyed watching, do give us a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel on your way out, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care.